What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 10 different stocks today. Yes, 10. This is the largest request list I've had for stocks in a long time. I'm just going to give the shout outs right now. We're talking about these 10 stocks at the request of Black Mamba, Navi, and Tony Tacos. Yes, some of you have more than 2 requests, and that's okay, but this is the list that we're going over today. We're going to talk about Tesla, MU, PLTR, MicroStrategy, NVIDIA, PPTA, ASTS, SoFi, AAOI, and RKLB. Those are the 10 stocks we're talking about. Those are the 3 requesters of those stocks. Let's get into this. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for being here. All right, so Tesla doing essentially what we've expected it to do, right? I mean, it's just moving sideways, being boring. I haven't talked about this in a while. The last time we talked about it, I want to say was somewhere around here. Maybe it was around here. And looks like you've had a nice move up, a little bit of volume increasing. Nice to see. Not the kind of look that you want if you're looking to break out, but this can change. You know, if you just kind of consolidate in this area for a little bit of time, and maybe not even that much time, but you might look to break out. As of right now, I would assume that you have some kind of correction that's a little bit larger than what you have going right now from a low point to a high point. I would expect $210 to $200. That's probably on the mind right now. If we put a white line right there, let's put it right at $200, just below that 382. We'll take away the fib. You can see area of support, area of resistance right here, area of resistance, area of support. So between 200 210, it's a somewhat significant area relative to this whole consolidation phase. I bet you pull back there. I really do. Whether or not you break lower and go lower than this low, or hold that and then move higher, that remains to be seen. I do like that you got in the overbought zone. I do. I don't like that it looks like you're about to get out of it as soon as you got into it, you know, with more volume on the way down. I don't like that aspect. But again, as long as you're holding this area, I think it's going to be okay. I think that you could actually be looking to break out of this consolidation phase finally. It could be, you know, weeks or months even, but you might be in a phase where you're about to see new all-time highs. If not, well, then this year you're going to continue to consolidate for a little bit longer, you know, for months or so. But yeah. That's my call on Tesla. Let's go over MU. A few of you actually requested this one today. Not just you, Black Mamba. A few people actually did. The weekly RSI looks very strong. This is a very strong looking chart. I don't like Micron. Well, see, it's technology. Micron Technology Inc. If it said technologies, then we'd have a problem. But technology is okay. That's some high quality H2O, man. El Dorado water. They get it from like a spring that's like 200 feet or 300 feet in the ground in this like cave. Just clean, pure Rocky Mountain water, baby. That was a fly. I had to kill it. I don't want more of them. Anyways, monthly RSI is overbought. Looks like you'd like to be in this overbought zone for a while, so you absolutely could continue to run. The last time you weren't overbought for that long, but this seems to be a bit of a different run than that. Let's just look here. And I do like the way the weekly RSI looks. Yeah, you're at your 1618. Tipped it for resistance. You might go down lower. I mean, you could. I don't know. I like the way the weekly RSI could come down. You really could come down. So perhaps you do. Perhaps you move down to about 120, thereabouts. If you go lower, that's okay. Maybe 115. But you probably hold this area, and then hopefully you look to move higher afterwards. But I do think you look like you want to move down. Yeah, the daily RSI looks like you want to move down. The weekly looks really good week to week, but day to day, the RSI looks like it wants to go down. And on the weekly, it would allow for you to come down and still hold this very bullish narrative. So probably down to around 120 or lower. You know, if you break, I'd say if you break below 115, you're likely going to go back to like around $100, even to $90, somewhere in that area. So just keep that in mind. But that's MU. Let's talk about PLTR, Palantir Technologies. I always want to say Palantir, but Palantir. Getting overbought. Nice. Good job. Mission accomplished. Bearish divergence. Not as good of a look, but I don't know. I like your weekly RSI. I must say I do. Monthly looking good as well, actually. The daily is looking great. It's all looking great. You might, you know, have a little correction right now, but let's go back to the weekly here to get a kind of estimate going on. High to low. Is that even the proper low to take? I would say so. Yeah, let's take that low. Oh, yeah, dude, you look great. 786, you tipped it basically. Perhaps you are done growing for now and you do pull back to about anywhere from like 24 bucks. Even you could pull all the way back down to 21 bucks and be okay. I don't know if you do, though, just based on the nature of this kind of uptrend that you have going on. Let's look at the more relative fib from this high to this low. I would think you go a little bit higher. probably around 30 bucks, if not to $30, about 20, just over 29 bucks would be appropriate. I think the daily RSI looks fit for that. The 3-hour RSI looks good too. Yeah, I think you do want to go just a little bit higher. You're inching your way up there. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps you make a straight shot all the way up to like 36 bucks. But we're going to keep it level at about 29 to 30 bucks right now. And then probably you'll move back down to around like 24 bucks and then work your way back up to over time. So that's PLTR. MicroStrategy. I wanted to make my own video for this one and for NVIDIA, but we're going to loop it in here today. I'm trying to work through these videos quick, these requests quick tonight. I like the monthly. I like the monthly RSI. The weekly RSI, I also don't mind. It's actually got a lower low in the RSI. Overall, this is a nice trend, but a lower low in the more immediate with a higher low, that's a nice look in itself. If we take this low here to this high here, you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out, and it puts a smile on my face, man. I don't have the best smile in the world, but isn't it? It's, you know. Bouncing off your 618, 69 area, it's actually a really good look. Rejecting your 382, you haven't officially rejected it yet. You're just you might be finding resistance, right? Oh, you just closed at it. Okay, actually, I guess okay. You opened at it and then you've closed below. Get above your 382. Get above your 382. I don't want to see you get below your 0.5 here. Don't get below about $1,320, $1,322 more specifically. If you do, you might be going lower than this low. And I like this. I like that low, man, a lot. Not to, the weekly RSI looks great. Daily RSI is in an area that you like to find support. If you keep growing, you're going to get above your 50. Like, there's a bunch of good things that would come in line. You're bouncing off your 123 moving average. But closing above that 382 would be indicative of moving above this high here and likely out of this whole range, casting new all-time highs. Somebody said, and it might have been you, Navi. No, I think it might have been somebody else who was talking about MicroStrategy. I'm gonna double check real quick. Yes, somebody else. I would give you a shout out if I had it down, but I only give a shout out to the person that requested first. Otherwise, I would have had you. But I remember reading the comment. MicroStrategy is going to do a 10-to-1 split soon, right? So that should make this more affordable, right? Instead of $1,358, it'll be $135, $136. So the average investor might be able to afford getting into MicroStrategy at that point, right? Because this isn't, I don't know if you guys know this, but the average American, let alone the average investor in the world, they don't have $1,000 at their disposal, let alone $1,358. Not everybody's in that position. People got bills they got to pay, and some people just live frivolous lifestyles. To each their own, whatever. But I really do think getting above $1,413 would be nice. Getting multiple days to close above that, and if you can do that, then. And I kind of think you will, actually. I have hopes that you will, because I feel like MicroStrategy runs before Bitcoin sometimes. Then, oh yeah, that's a nice bounce off your 382 area too. Then you would look to move up to new all-time highs at about $2,400, $3,000, 10-to-1 split. Just turn that into $240, $300, something like that, right? Depending on when the split happens. I bet the split happens before those prices are achieved. But that's MicroStrategy. NVIDIA, new all-time highs for MicroStrategy. Just throwing that out there. NVIDIA does have bearish divergence on its weekly time frame. This week was looking good, but really you're forming a bit of a double top, aren't you? So lower we go. Yes, the bearish divergence, I think, is in full effect. I do expect that you're going to see prices around $100. You might not go to $100. This thing is very resilient. You could hold like 110. 110 or a little bit above $100, you might hold that area, but I do think you'll see lower prices than this relative low here at about 118. You probably will go below that. The weekly RSI looks very strong, but it is a bit top heavy. Volumes decreasing as you're moving up. I really do think you're going to move down, and I don't think this is the end of MicroStrategy's or NVIDIA's run. I think it has more to go. Daily RSI rejecting the oh yeah, hell of a close, bro. You're going to close this week. You're going down. You are going down at least to $111, but more likely I would actually think just below $100, between like $95 and $100. I think that's where you're going to go, and then continue upwards for NVIDIA. PPTA. Oh, that's JPPTA. We want PPTA. Perpetua Resources Corp. Oh, what a nice day you had. It's like the opposite, right? what what Nvidia wishes they had yesterday, climbing up slowly and then boom. Except Nvidia is at the top of its range. This is at the bottom of its range. Anyways, daily RSI is looking good, looking productive. Yeah, I like it. I like that as a low. I think that that could be it. It's a double bottom and a half right there. Nice. Yeah, it looks really good. Oh, I love that. Bouncing off the 50. Good call. Good call on this one, Black Mamba. I think so. I think this is a good one. High to low, especially relatively speaking. Bouncing off your 886, bro. Yeah, you're probably making a move up to $8.64. Let's see. I want to see just real quick. Spend a second on this one. $8.64 is what I'm thinking. Yes. Maybe even up to like $9.65. Yeah. $8.60, $9.60, somewhere in that range. Maybe let's say $8.60 to $10, right? Something like that. You could go higher. Absolutely, you could. I wonder. I do wonder. Yeah, we'll say $8.60 to $10. Okay. What about this? What was it? Was it this one that I was looking at? It was this one that I was looking at. Yeah, let's keep it $8.60 to $10, somewhere in that area. Yeah, I think so. I think that's where you're gonna go. Yep. Over time, it might not happen immediately, but it does look like on a week-to-week basis you like to move up. So probably sometime in August or September you're going to be up at that area, I would think. Yeah. ASTS is the next one. AST Space Mobile. Wow, what are you? What is this? What do you guys do? AST Mobile, you guys are they do not pay dividends. That's what they don't do. Did I miss it? Did I hear? I hate how small this is. I need to. Communications, specialty telecommunications. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, Space Mobile, I guess I could have just figured that out in the name. I'm kind of curious. ASTS, what news? I don't know. Short interest, is that, it's probably because they're pumping so much. I'm not going to spend time researching what this is, but yeah, dude, this looks crazy bullish. Putting a line right at the top here. Relative areas of resistance, even support back here. So you probably find some resistance in this area. You probably do chill for a second. I think that's obvious, right? Your volume's dying off immensely as you're continuing to climb. Oh, but you might go just a little higher, right for that 1618, reaching for it right there. And that actually is right at that resistance point. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you moved up to about $14.30. You're at $11.90 now. If not, perhaps you do move back to 936. Either way, whether you move up from here or down from here, 936 is probably where I would expect you to find support, unless you just blast through the roof, unless this thing really is going to space. But that weekly RSI has been hot for a while. It makes sense that it would need to chill. Daily RSI has some bearish divergence. Really, you have hidden bullish divergence, though. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence. I don't know. I actually think this daily RSI looks really good. So I am thinking, and you bounce off your 1272. I do think you'll see about $14.50, $14.30, somewhere in there. And then you'll probably move down. So you're creeping. And maybe you'll have one day where you just, and then you dump. Or maybe you'll just continue to creep as you have. But sometime this month you'll be up there, and then you'll start to move down, I would assume. Yeah. ASTS. SoFi Technologies. This one is terrible, always. It's a big old bust, man. It just doesn't it'll perform well for a second, and then that's it. It gave me hopes here, man. Rejected the 50, you're back below. I don't know, man. If you hold this area, there's hope that you are moving to 1370 to 1570. There is hope. But you have to hold this area, right where you're at. You don't want to give ground. You don't want to go back below $6.60. You're at $6.77 now, so you're not that far away from it, right? Weekly RSI is relatively neutral with a bearish effect. I think it's fine. I think you really could bounce off this area and move higher. What about the daily? The daily's looking somewhat productive, actually. If you look at this, it looks like you're breaking this little downtrend with that move, but it's not convincing enough. You're just above the 60. Get more above it. Stay above it. Don't do this. Don't get above it and then come back down. So I'm asking for more. Really, let's get above about $7.40. And if you can do that, then I have faith that you actually might be moving up to that 1370 to 1570 area. The real line in the sand to watch, I guess, would be about $8.75, though it doesn't look like you really respect that. But going off the respect of the 236, and you have resistance points here, I'm going to give it to 875. Once you break above that, I'm very convinced it's this, that this is the low and that you are moving up higher. But really, I think even getting above like $7.40 would do it for me. There was something I wanted to do with this. I was just thinking about, oh yeah, something that I haven't done for the other ones, but I'm curious. Where are you at? There you are. Weekly with the fresh cross down. Neutral though, it's not that impactful. Daily, oh yeah, I have hopes. I have hopes. But you need to keep going. Don't stop here like you did any of these other times. Keep going. Make it different. If you do things differently, you're going to get different results. If not, well then, if I'm wrong on assuming that you'll break above 740, then perhaps you're more likely going to go, I like it as a low. I really do think you're going to go up. But if I'm wrong, then look for about $5.40 to, well, $5 itself, somewhere in that area. That's SoFi. AAOI. I like doing that. How I normally do it is I'll pick a side and I'll say, this is what I think is going to happen. And I don't normally give both scenarios when I'm doing videos like this because it just takes more time to do like a double analysis. But I do like giving both possibilities in case I am wrong. You know what to look for on the other case, right? It's not like, oh, he was wrong, that means it's going to zero. Oh, he was wrong, it's going to the moon. No, there's still stops along the way either way. Weekly looks like a bullish engulfing candle bouncing off your oversold area. Not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. Massive consolidation phase there, kind of, right? Let's look at the monthly. You could be in some kind of head and shoulders pattern, man, but the volume doesn't look right. But maybe it's more of a Bart, I don't know, but somewhat of an upside down hat, right? You got the Abraham Lincoln hat, or the Pilgrim hat is more like what it looks like. I don't know, right? Throw the little buckle in there, the Thanksgiving buckle or whatever that is. I don't know. It's an upside down something. I would guess it's bullish in nature. Doesn't mean that it has to be though. But you are holding support at relative areas of support, right? If we put a line over here, support, 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 support. So it's not bad. Let's look at the all-time high to the all-time low. Yeah, all-time high to all-time low here. Beautiful. 618 to your 382. That's actually a very common maneuver to make. Very common when working your way up. So hold that. Don't break below 750. That's my one stipulation. Don't break below there. If you don't, likely your next target area is anywhere from like 41.70 to 63.70, and you're at $9.23, bro. This is on a monthly chart. You know, this could take place based off of how I drew it alone. It could happen, you know, by the end of next year, right? This looks fast on this chart, but it's on the monthly. It could happen, you know, this could take some time, but still, over time, and beyond that even, you have a chance, being that this is your first pass at the 61869 area, this would be your second pass breaking through, you actually have a chance of new all-time highs. What's the market cap on this bad boy? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm curious actually to see, but for now, let's stay focused. Get above and hold 750, but get above $20.42. If you do 41.70 to 63.73, that's your long-term target. In the more immediate term, I suppose what you would have to look forward to from a high to a low. We are assuming that's the low, by the way. Would be 1573 to 1713. Technically, like $12 is your next target, but yeah, that's AAOI. And then RKLB for Mr. Tony, Rocket Lab USA, baby. I don't know what they do. What do they do? Do they make rockets? Is that what it is? Electronic technology, aerospace, and defense. Okay, so yeah, something like it. It's all in the name. It's all in the name, Tony. Tony, do you make tacos or do you like tacos? Either way, man, you know. Maybe you know. You've been around for a while. I wonder if you saw that video or the multiple live streams that I did where I did the taco eating competition 3 times. First one I lost. Second one I beat the record. Third one I tried to beat my own record and I got close, but no. Anyways, I like tacos too. This is the point of that. From an all-time high to an all-time low. accumulating for a long time, looking strong right now, getting above your green line. That's something you haven't done in a long time, right? Even though the green line hasn't existed, I mean, like, who knows, right? It could have been down here. It could have, like, who knows? We can't. But I think just stipulating on the way it looks, like, it kind of looks like it would. This would be the first time that you've been above it, even like throughout this whole range, if it could have gone back that far. But that's not really appropriate to say. It didn't exist back then, so who knows? But the price was higher back before, so I would assume that it would actually be higher personally. Anyways, breaking above that line, nice to see. Strong RSI, the strongest you've seen since this point, but you couldn't even get above the 123. You are doing it now. The best guess to make would be that you are returning to your 382, your resistance area, probably to $7.10 in a relatively short amount of time. It does look like you like to march up to this area each time you've done it, and that's just how it does when it moves up. So I bet you do. Let's see this relative high to low here. 1272, 1618, matching beautifully with the 382 and 6. So yeah, oh yeah, that's perfect. I think inevitably you're working up to 1080 to 1228, and then we'll see from there. I think you will break this accumulation phase. I don't think it's going to be like this when I'm saying that. I don't think you're going to do this. You could. It's possible. I would more anticipate that you move up to this resistance area. You probably chill for a couple weeks or a couple months or something, and then you make your move up. You could even pull back to your 236, form a higher low, and then you could move up, right? Something that you haven't done on any, well, I guess you did form a higher low here technically for a little brief time, but something like this, but you continue to move up. One of those two, either consolidating around this area, which would more likely happen if you break above the 382 like you did here. You'd probably consolidate and then move up. If not, if you tip it like this, perhaps back to your 236 and then up. But inevitably, yeah, I think over a long period of time you're moving up. And immediately, yes, I do. I think you're moving up. Yeah, your daily RSI and weekly RSI look really good. So that's all I got to say, guys. That's the whole video. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.